Hello, hello. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are so excited to have today Shawn Brown, who is the chair for the College Reunion Think Tank, a phenomenal school leader, a fabulous author, a TED Talk presenter. We're just so grateful to have you and to learn more about your work and the impact that you are having in the community. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Carla.
You're welcome. Well, let's hop right into some questions. So, give us a little bit of information about your background. So, tell us where you're from originally, and tell us a bit about how you came to be in education and to be an educational leader.
Okay, well, I grew up in Pasadena area and I graduated from John Muir High School way back many moons ago. And attended Cal State Northridge where I received my undergraduate studies, oddly enough, in economics. So I
Hmm.
didn't anticipate going into education. And I guess my calling on my life pulled me in that direction. So
Hmm.
I ended up haphazardly getting into education and found out that that was my purpose in life. And
Hmm.
so I ended up getting a teaching credential, master's in educational leadership, and then that's all she wrote. And then I ended up teaching for several years. I
Hmm.
was the literacy coach. I worked for the Governor's Reading Institute, and then I founded a charter school, Pasadena Rosebud Academy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, I want to know a little bit more about your teaching journey. So, you majored in economics. So, what did you teach?
So I taught English and social studies, and I
Oh,
taught
very
ESL.
cool.
Yeah, I ended up teaching ESL because I had spent a year in Spain, so they needed someone who has a Spanish background. So
Mhm.
that's what I initially started as, and then I ended up with English and social studies. So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. That's amazing. So, in reference to educational leadership and administration in particular, what advice would you have for those rising administrators out there about the path to educational administration and what makes a strong leader?
Well, I think first and foremost, you need to be in the classroom, a minimum of 5 years as a good, if not a great teacher, but also taking on leadership roles like it as um, lead teacher, maybe a department chair, but
Mhm.
also work in other roles in education so that you can get a broad range of experiences.
Mhm.
But more importantly, I think it's really important for individuals who want to go into administration that they develop leadership, effective leadership qualities, and be intentional about developing those qualities.
Mhm. 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 What do you think, just in speaking a bit about those leadership qualities, what do you think helped hone your leadership qualities along your journey?
Well, I think I strongly believe just kinda like my work ethic
Mhm.
and, um, and then I just think my personality kinda lended itself to that, but then as I, started to evolve into a leader in certain positions in education, then I had to look at, some of the areas where I needed to grow,
Mm.
and so I just became intentional about, these leadership roles that I'm in, what is it that I need to be effective? And so it was really about that intention. And so I had to start developing those areas where I needed to grow.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, that thank you. That's powerful advice for folks. Definitely know what your strengths are, but also knowing where you need to grow and then seeking out those professional and personal development opportunities. So, speaking of, I really want to get into the book, which I love, and I'm so sorry I don't have a copy right in front of me because I should put it up on the screen. But tell us about your book, about the inspiration behind it, just all the things.
Well, I think the inspiration was really purely a divine inspiration. Once I got into education and knew that this was the calling on my life, it
Mhm.
just kind of took over me, the work that I wanted to do. And it was purely, a divine inspiration. And the book was designed and birthed from a desire to contribute to creating more great schools in America. And
Mm.
so my book outlines procedures and practices that schools need to implement in order to create great schools.
Mhm, 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 and tell us the title, because I didn't give the title to the folks.
The purpose-driven school. I just
Mhm.
here, and it's
Yes.
backward, so yeah,
Yes. No, that yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's phenomenal. As soon as I read it, it just really spoke to me, the portion about visioning and then just setting everything up, not just for school leaders, but also for classroom teachers and leaders, like anybody, I think. I think if schools around the country were to read your book and implement the strategies, we would have a drastically different field of education immediately.
I agree.
Definitely, definitely. So tell us about what is your definition of a great school, and what do you see as some of the key elements that contribute to the success of what we would consider to be a great school?
Yeah, so ultimately, a great school will have strong student achievement, high student achievement, and some of those things that create those great schools are a clear vision that is shared by all of the educational partners,
Mhm,
also creating the optimal dream team, a group of people who are working towards that vision, effective leadership, and operating from a business model.
mhm,
Operating from a business model. So those are some of the key things that I talk about in my book, among other things, but those are the foundation to creating a great school.
mhm, mhm. Love it, love it. So if you could have our viewers take and the folks who read your book have one key takeaway from the book, and as we think about your TED Talk, which was also phenomenal, what would be 1 to 2 key takeaways?
I think from the Purpose Driven School book, I think one takeaway for readers would revolve around the importance of creating great schools so that all students can,
Mhm,
excel academically. And so I
mhm,
think that's the ultimate goal, getting all students to excel academically. And
mhm.
then from my TED Talk, the title of that is The Achievement Gap. And I would like viewers to gain a deeper understanding of the complex factors that contribute to the achievement gap in education. I want viewers to learn that self-image plays a significant role in shaping students' academic outcomes and overall success.
Mhm, mhm. That is so key. That's so key. Yeah. So we want to say thank you so much again, and we are just so honored to have you on our network and really thank you for your leadership.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate all the work that you're doing in education as well.
Awesome. Thanks.